and I will continue to post verses about Jesus. I love to kayak, and I also love to bake and cook. So tonight I am going to make my homemade chocolate chip cookies. I will let you know up front any of the items you see, any of the items I talk about. I am not getting paid. None of this I'm getting any commission from. So I'm just letting you know that up front. In the small bowl, what I combined is 2¼ cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now with the flour, because I do not like thick cookies, I like them on the thin side, and if you like them thicker, what you can do is add an extra tablespoon of flour. I take out a tablespoon of flour just because I like mine thin and crispy. I use, my favorite type of flour to use is the resealable one, the gold medal, just because I put this in my refrigerator and I want to make sure it's sealed. In my KitchenAid mixer, I am going to put in 1 cup of butter. The type of butter I like to use is Land O'Lakes. I always use the unsalted butter. And what I do is, when I got home from church today, is I pulled out my eggs and my butter, and I let them sit all day so they get to room temperature, so they're much easier to work with. In the mixer, I put in 2 sticks of butter, 3/4 cup of sugar, 3/4 cup of light brown sugar. I like the light brown sugar because I like the lighter cookies, but it doesn't matter if you use light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now I will tell you, for the sugars, I like to use the Dixie crystals. That's just my preference. I do not use the Publix brand or the store brand. I like to use Dixie crystals. I will tell you, I have used Domino's in the past. I'm not a fan of their sugars, but I will use them if I have to, if I cannot find Dixie crystals. And you let that go until it starts creaming. A lot of the items that I do use, my spatulas, and the item I will use to scoop out my cookies is from Pampered Chef. I absolutely love their items. My measuring cups came from Pampered Chef, and a lot of my measuring spoons came from Pampered Chef. I absolutely love their items. They hold up well, and I've had them for years, and I use them over and over. They wash well, they clean up well. I don't find a lot of wear and tear in them. Now I will tell you, every couple of years I do replace them. Last year I got this spatula, which is great for scraping the sides when I do bake. So I have to take off the butter off of that and get in here and get the sides and make sure it's nice and creamy. I want to give a shout out to the college football teams that made the college football playoffs. Congratulations to those who did not make it. I apologize. And for all of the bowl games coming up. Once that is creamed, I put in 1 egg at a time. I will tell you, these eggs are at room temperature. Like I said, when I got home from church today, I went ahead and took out 2 eggs, let them get to room temperature, as well as the butter. Always use salted butter. I like Land O'Lakes. That's just my go-to for my use. And then you put in the eggs. I'm supposed to cream them 1 at a time. So I hope that does not make a difference. I absolutely love my KitchenAid mixer. It has attachments to the front. I have made homemade ice cream with it. I put it on the stove and then I put it in my mixer, and it turns out great. Now I will tell you, homemade ice cream is a little bit more trickier, because if you do cook it for too long or you do mix it for too long, it will get, when you freeze it, it will get bad. And then I put in the flour mixture, a little bit at a time, just to mix it up. I pre-measured the ingredients ahead of time, just so this video would not be 20-30 minutes long. And as I put in the flour and the baking soda and the salt, I mix that up. Like I said before, if you want your cookies thicker, the key is just 1 tablespoon extra of flour. If you want them a little thinner, like I like mine, I take out 1 tablespoon of flour. So for me, I do 2 1/4 cup, and then I use a tablespoon to remove 1 tablespoon. So if you like them thicker, add a tablespoon. Once I get that mixed up in my KitchenAid mixer, when I put in the chocolate chips, I take it out of the mixer. I do that by hand. And I like the Nestle's Toll House chocolate chips. I have used Costco's brand. I have used Walmart brand. I just don't think they melt as good as Nestle's, but that is my preference. Like I said, I am not getting paid by any of these companies. So you use what is your favorite brand to use. I'm just telling you what my favorite is. So when I get to this point, I usually pull it out and I will hand mix in the semi-chocolate chips. Now, another thing I will use, but I'm not using it tonight, are the mini M&Ms. I would put them right in here. They melt nice, they give a little crunch to it, and they taste good. But I am not putting M&Ms in tonight. If my daughter is watching, she's probably going, "Oh, Mom, I love the M&Ms in here." Now you can, if you don't want all of that chocolate, because between the semi-chocolate chips and the M&Ms, it will become very chocolatey. If you do not want that, you can cut the semi-chocolate chips, put in a half of semi-chocolate chips, and put in a half of M&Ms, and that will cut down on the chocolate. And voila, here's our chocolate chip cookie dough. What I use is, this is from Pepper and Chef. It makes the perfect size cookie. I line my pan with parchment paper. I like the Reynolds brand because it's decurling. I don't know if any of you have used some parchment paper and it curls up. That is just infuriating. It's crazy. It makes me crazy. Before I get started, I do preheat my oven to 375. And let me show you what these look like when I put them on the parchment paper. I mean, you can see, I don't know if you can see them, you can see how it just makes a perfect cookie size. Put them a little bit apart because, as you know, if you made chocolate chip cookies, they do spread out. And you see the lighter dough because I use the light brown sugar. If you want darker dough, use the darker brown sugar. I've used both in the past. It doesn't matter whether you use light or dark. It's really your preference. And these are going to go into the oven for 9 minutes. 8 to 9 minutes because I did make them a little thinner. So thank you for watching.